By the way, Ben or Ruben, do you have anything today? I'm not sure whether we have much of an agenda. So,
Nothing from me.
I have one thing to ask. So, Jens and I will go to CSAF Community Days in a couple of weeks. So I was thinking, we were thinking, and I found from the conference in Amsterdam, we can use those templates, like presenting official OpenSSF templates. That's good. That was my first question, but I figured it out in the meantime. The other thing is, if you have any ideas how we can more promote the community and OpenSSF and things like that, let me know.
is this an online conference? Or?
No, I think it's in person. I'm in person only. We will be there on site 2 days.
That's in Germany.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we'll talk about Justify a little bit in the contents of what we do with the CSF files. But yeah, I think I have a couple of stickers I picked up in Amsterdam, so I'll bring that with me.
Nice.
You might reach out to Stacy Potter at OpenSSF. She's the community manager for OpenSSF, and she might be able to, hook you up with some more stickers, or, if there's any OpenSSF content that you would want to include.
Cool. Can you send that?
Yep, we'll do.
I like how all the talks have TLP classification.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I was also thinking now that sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I was gonna kind of move on to another topic, which is I think we've gone through like the most of the thinking in terms of like getting the OpenSSF donation done. I'm wondering whether we wanna potentially move this meeting to a bi-weekly. Any thoughts on that?
I think that'd be fine. We don't seem to have had a lot of attendance or content lately, so going to every other week might help make the time we do spend a little more useful.
Yeah, I'll send out I'll start a thread on the channel just to make sure everyone's on board with that. And then Ben, I will ping you to, or just let me know who. I feel like you've been handling that, so
Yep,
yeah,
no
that's all
problem.
for me.
Ben, I also wanted to ping you. I think you mentioned the webinar we could do about Transtify in the OpenSSF context. So I was thinking maybe we should start organizing it now.
Okay.
Just we done this first thing. I still want to do much more onboarding documentation so that people can figure out, and start. But I want to commit to the webinar, so I have a timeline when this needs to be done. Otherwise, it will be delayed forever.
Yep, nothing like a deadline to focus the mind.
Yeah.
If you want to put together like an abstract, send that to me and I can connect you with the folks at the OpenSSF. I have to actually go remember how we get on their calendar for webinars. But I think, just having an abstract and a title will help them, because they'll probably ask for that before they agree to schedule anything anyway. So
Yeah. Perfect. So, yeah, I think I'll try to do it in the next week or so. Just handling these sites for the CSELF days and some docs and should be like creating much more material around it so that people can start using it. Without it, doesn't make much sense.
There's something I wanted to share with you. It's just to get your opinion. If you remember, maybe you forgot. The first day I joined, I made a presentation about what dependency analytics is, and it also had a part where you could get insights about a language model that you use. So it's about this part. So at the moment, this is part of the dependency analytics backend, but eventually it should be moved away from this service because the dependency analytics should only analyze dependencies, not anything related to language models. This is my opinion. So I before summer, I created a draft of an API specification that is only related to this kind of analysis for language models, that the IDE extension should query directly. But what I wanted to get your opinions on is whether it should be part of the Trustify itself or be an independent service. Definitely, it should be move away from the dependency analytics backend. But I don't know whether to incorporate it into the Trustify or have it independent. What do you think? Do you need to know more about this, or?
Is a quick question. Is that service main integration point for now is still just Trustify, or are there other integrations as well?
Actually, Trustify doesn't have anything to do with it at the moment. So it's only the dependency analytics IDEs and backend who consume it. So when you are developing and you are using any LLM in your source code, you can hover it and get insights about at the moment only LM-eval hardness reports that are public. So in this repository that I started working on, or any other contributions that or sources that users might contribute with.
And the data is coming directly from the call to this service?
Yeah, as there isn't any data available, any public data available on this regard, we executed some evaluations on some models, and we are using the repository, or what I plan to use the repository as the source of truth, so that users can contribute their reports and make it like the GitHub security advisory is, where you can where the vulnerabilities are the source in this repository.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind actually is the OpenSSF like AI related project, right? So I wonder whether I don't know whether that's where you want to go with this conversation, but like that seems to fit into that. But I think the other thing I wanted to mention is like GUAC also, we have some other like sub projects that can be used on themselves, like the software identification project and stuff like that. I think there is like if administratively, it makes sense. Also, I feel like it's a fine use case as well to park it under one of the existing projects.
To merge it with an existing project. Which one you mean?
Either GUAC or Trustify, because unless you, because I think there is quite a bit of like maintenance overhead to create it as like a separate core project. Then you need multiple maintainers, and so on. I'm not sure how big the project is. I think that may be another data point that is helpful.
Yeah, this API is supposed to give you information about the accuracy, toxicity, security and safety for the models analyzed. Also, ideally, we can use other sources and aggregate this information, this vulnerability information or security information available, like this online public data sources for language models. And then also to incorporate the contributions from the collaborators providing their own reports. If you open the reports folder, you can see the 3 available reports that we published, and that should be served in this with this API. I don't know how much it can grow or how we can the details of the implementation, how this will evolve.
I guess maybe a step back. What are you hoping to, like, is there any issue with where the project lives now? There's like, is there a reason that just because it's like, does this project want to do other stuff, and or like, is there like a maintenance thing, or okay, that's why I kind of like, why bring up, why is the question being brought up that we want to maybe move it?
Because I think the 2 APIs are conceptually different. One is to analyze, give you information about the dependencies of your project. The other one is for the usage of your LLMs. If we consider that using LLMs is also part of the vulnerabilities that your project might have, then it makes sense to have it there. But if we are talking about vulnerabilities from 2 different things, that one is software packages, the other one is language models, then it should be a different service. This is the debate I'm having internally.
But I think when you look at like from the SBOM context perspective, then you have like we're not there yet, but in general, you have your dependency, you have your models that are used, so you want to get information about both from like a not a maybe single API, but from a single service. Yeah. So I think, Robin, most of your thing is how to make it the most as useful as possible, right? And it will remain the one repository, right? No matter what, right?
Sorry, you repeat
the current one repository. That's the project, right? So I was thinking maybe, as Brandon says, like for administrative purposes, let's keep it in the Trustify context. And if you figure out it can be useful for more people, yeah, make it so as we go forward.
Yeah, the other alternative is to incorporate it into Trustify if it makes sense to have it there.
Yeah. So you mean move the code base to the Trustify project?
There is no code base. It's just the
Just
specification
the specification.
that generates some libraries that can be used by the client.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay,
why
yeah.
before
Okay.
stepping into the implementation.
Okay. So the question is, move this specification as a separate repo, or move the code under the Trustify project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need an answer yet, but you can take it offline.
Is there a distinction between like when you say Trustify project, do you mean like another repo in Trustify project or into the Trustify? Okay. Yeah.
Another repo that will be part of the Trustify core, right?
Yeah.
Which is okay with me.
I think aspirationally it's hoping to solve the same problem, at least like within the conversations that I'm involved with one of the NIST SSDF projects, right? They see AI as just like the model as another piece of software, depending on
Yeah, but the way you can consume a language model, it's hard to reflect inside a project because the models, the different models that you use might be dynamical. So you can configure it using a database or provide a dynamical value that you can choose from any. That's the problem you have when you are developing.
I feel like that ecosystem will develop to right now it's like anyone can do anything kind of mode. But at some point we will come in and be like, you can't do this. You have to pin your dependencies and pin your models and stuff like that. Yeah, with the bad guys here. I guess so. It sounds like we have some consensus on leaving. Like I'm not sure we came to a conclusion yet. It sounded like both putting it as a repo under OpenSSF for the implementation, and under Trustify as a implementation, and having it its own repo were both on the table, and there's slight leaning towards having it as a for now as a part of the Trustify project, because there may be future integrations there. Is that and so it sounds like the decision is to, at least for now, move it under the Trustify project, and in the future we can decide a more permanent home if it needs to have one.
Sure thing. Yeah. Ruben, that works for you?
Yeah. Perfect.
Right. Anything else? Any conferences coming up that folks are submitting to or going to besides the CSAP one?
KubeCon will be coming up here in 2 weeks. I don't know if anyone has any.
Is half of Mike, are you presenting?
I'll have a talk at the Open Source Security Con about the open source project security baseline. I think Mike sent me a message. He said he got roped into giving a talk, but I'm not sure what. And Parth is not presenting, but he'll be at our booth. And so will Jeff.
It's Atlanta, right?
What's that?
It's in Atlanta, right? This
Yes.
upcoming.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Awesome. If not, if we don't have any more topics, Dion, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I think the notes. Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, I have a conference this week, a local one in Belgrade, my hometown, and I'll be talking a little bit about yeah, all things vulnerability management. So CVs, OSVs, CSAF, what makes
Are
sense.
they
What
gonna
makes sense.
welcome you with a party? I don't know how big, how closely your hometown is.
Yeah. So this time it's good. It's like a keynote on the first day, so I can relax after that. But usually I get like a last lot on the conference, and then yeah.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Anything else? If not, we'll call it a day. Get the time back.